course, as we all know, our season this year was cut rather short. Nonetheless, we had a great number of moments to enjoy and to be thankful for, as well as seeing some fantastic football both on and off the pitch. Now, this video will be a bit of a split in terms of content. First up for yourselves, we had a few thoughts from a couple of our players across the board in regards to their thoughts about the 2021 season, both on and off, and of course looking towards next year and the 2022 WNPL season. Additionally, there are a few thoughts from ourselves about how the league went this year despite the interruptions, and of course a couple of potential talking points which may change things slightly somewhat. So we certainly hope you enjoy this mixed production of our podcast style and more traditional interview, and we hope to see you all very, very soon, be it some point over the off season or indeed in 2022. We thank you all for your community support and everyone who's had a part to play in our wonderful season being as strong and as joyful as it was. So thank you all.
Probably when I got asked to step up and even just to be on bench for the seniors for the Nike FC Cup against Ringwood. I really enjoyed that, and even though only getting a few minutes, but it was always worth it because that's what I've been building up to play seniors and get those minutes in throughout the whole season.
I would say for this season, my favourite moment would be the Heidelberg game. I felt like our team gelled and our performance was quite up to standard, and I believe that the way we played was the football that we've always wanted to play. So that would be my highlight, definitely.
The relief and elation and incredible sense of togetherness that we had in that first Bulleen game, just after so long of not being able to play together, and such a long build up to a game as well. It did feel a bit odd stepping out on a pitch. It's like, we don't play games, we just train. So I think that was that's the first one that comes to mind, at least. Knowing that we were back and we were playing football together, definitely a great moment. I think another great moment was kind of when the season was officially ended, it was cancelled, but knowing that we finished top of the table, we had a great season, that even though it was really cut short and we didn't get to complete it, and obviously they're not announcing winners or anything like that, but knowing that we did we had such a great run, it was kind of nice to reflect and know that, hey, we actually finished top of the table technically, and that's actually a big achievement. So yeah, that's also probably a really good highlight for the season.
My favorite moment was winning my first game at the South. I like the moment I scored the first goal against Alamein. Yeah, that's one of the moments when football is the best.
My favorite moment of the 2021 campaign would have had to have been our first game against Calder, or only game against Calder, where we had a lot of young players and we grinded out a win in only our second match. It was a good indicator of what was to come for a lot of the girls stepping up for the senior team.
Probably getting off with a great start against Bulleen, winning 7-1, was it? It was awesome to just start off the season like that, and it really kicked off a great start to the season.
I think that there was a really, really important level of professionalism from everyone, and that spurred everyone on to be performing at their best at training, in games. And I think that that really meant that as a team, because we were aligned, we were able to work quite well as a unit. And I think that in terms of the style that we wanted to play as well, we could play quite a fast, like transition sort of game, whether that be through the middle, from the wingers, from the wing backs. It was really awesome to see that we had such a dominant but also threatening like team and squad.
Worked really well, like especially considering all the lockdowns. Coming back, it seemed as though coming back like straight into trainings, it seemed as though weren't even affected, and we were working just as hard, and we were all just so keen to win and perform well as a group. So I thought we did really well.
Certainly a mixture of youth and experience, and the way that some girls came into the squad, like Jenna McCormick and Naomi Chinema. It was great to see that a lot of fresh faces got some game time as well, like the young kids, Sophie and Zoe Haratzis, and it's testament to South Melbourne building the kids up from the juniors so that they can step up and play into the seniors. So at times we were a little bit disjointed, but when the likes of Melina Ayres, bags a brace every second week, it's nice to know that these young players can come on without too much pressure on themselves. But in terms of playing as a team, I think we only grew as the season went on. And final week campaign, alas, it wasn't to be. But even so, I thought we showed real glimpses of brilliance throughout the season.
I think we all performed really well. Like for my under 17s, we were like sitting second, like fighting for the top. All teams played really well, like fighting for the top all the time. Girls, boys, women's, men's, they're always trying the hardest, training how they play. So always fighting to stay at the top. So that's the best thing about even being in lockdown, like everyone's still training, trying hard, still going.
Like all teams, I feel like the first few games obviously weren't, we played well, but like it wasn't the structure that we wanted to play as such. But over the season, we obviously developed and gelled more as a team, and that showed with our results being top of the table.
So hard to do. And our performance was very, very good because we were top of the league.
Just being back at the club and working towards real professionalism and, having a community of people that want to make players better and increase the notoriety of women's football, and hopefully, push the club further into professionalism as we go about things.
Next year would hopefully, the goal will be to actually win the title, not only the league, but also the Night Cup, which were cut off this year. So next year would be to win. Yeah.
We want to get through the season first because we were so hard time to obviously lockdown. So hopefully we can play whole season. But actually, I don't know if I'll be able to come back next year. I might go back to Japan. I'm not sure. But I'll be happy to be here because I love everyone in the team. South Melbourne.
A full season. I think that there's obviously going to be a lot of changes potentially over the off season. We'll be looking to defend what we were hoping to say was our title. we'll be looking to maybe like also go undefeated. Why not? Like, we lost one game, let's go undefeated next year. I think that it should be something that we aim to achieve. We should be looking for silverware, and I think that the 2022 campaign should be about getting back into hopefully a full season of football, but in South style, going for goal, like making sure that we actually win something.
We just kicking off exactly where we left. I think it's so unfortunate that we couldn't finish the season, considering we were, top of the ladder and doing really well. So with a great bunch of girls as well. So I think we can continue that into next season and get back up there, top of the ladder, and hopefully win it.
I'm looking forward to keep going and try and build myself up, because obviously I'll be in the 19s. So I'll try and get more senior time, and I'll try and, fight for my spot and show that I belong in the seniors.
So, a couple of takeaway points from our perspective in regards to our 2021 campaign. Certainly our biggest highlight was our sole game against Calder. And this is a particularly strong event for a number of reasons. The big one obviously being it's Calder. So of course, any result against Calder is highly, highly appreciated and highly, highly loved. Beyond that, we still had a number of players coming back from their W League campaigns. So of course, that means we have had to play a much younger squad than we might normally do throughout the season. So of course that gives those players who might not normally have as many minutes as usual, might not even have the chance to get those minutes, gain those opportunities and gain that very, very valuable experience that will shape them as a player as they come to get ever closer to becoming full-time senior footballers. Of course, advancing the opportunities in future of their careers, be it going overseas, playing professionally, playing for the Matildas. It all opens up a lot of gateways. So that was very much one to celebrate for the present and for the future. Beyond that, certainly one of the bigger low points we had was our game against the Federation outfit, commonly referred to just simply as NTC. It's certainly what we all know them as. No matter how many times they decide to rebrand, they'll always be NTC to us. Now that defeat certainly was a big shock to us all. I don't think we were expecting the result to pan out the way it was, but it was probably the game we all needed. Certainly one where we would have learnt the most lessons and really get our groove into shape to ensure that the rest of the season that was played out at least was extremely solid. So yes, perhaps that really was just the darkness that we needed to bring forth the light. Beyond that, of course, there's the inevitable mentions of lockdowns and all that. That should go without saying by now. Otherwise, beyond the league campaign, our Nike FC Cup run was spectacular. One to really be praised. We performed admirably. Of course, we also can't forget our pre-season tournaments as well. A couple of really good fixtures. And certainly showed how well we can perform both with our best, but also our youngest coming up, as they too were games where we did have to rely upon a chunk of our senior squad that hadn't, or at least weren't, playing W League for that summer season. Also, our younger players coming up, 17s and 19s, who are capable of playing senior football already and showing why they deserve to play senior football. Otherwise, Nike FC Cup never got to the final. Of course, our Casey game was called off prior to it supposed to be kicking off. That was not a fun drive home for us all. But at least there's still a potential, particularly with the states opening up a bit more again after a present extended lockdown, that we may see the final games of the Nike FC Cup be played out. Whether or not we perform in that, whether or not it happens, that's a wait and see. But hopefully that should be one major highlight to the end of the season, come what may. Beyond that, of course, the W League is fast approaching, and we've certainly got a lot to look forward to with that. I mean, yeah, of course, it's not quite watching South Melbourne play week in, week out, but we have seen a number of players sign W League contracts for the summer season. Of course, we've got lots of Barbieri, once again, playing W League. We've also got players like Lucy Johnson making their way in the W League. We saw on year Sophia Sakalis make the move out to Perth. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, come next season, we'll see the returns of like Sakalis and Johnson having made their W League campaigns beyond our state's borders, coming back to South Melbourne and showing us what they learnt in an even more senior climate. Beyond that, of course, we certainly hope that we will have Max Barbieri return. There's a reason why we should be watching W League, because we have so many South Melbourne players competing within it. So it definitely gives us something to look forward to and just to fill the gap over the great summer void. So make sure to support our girls where and wherever you can. Of course, we all know how much they appreciate it, and yeah, so it helps get them into a stronger form and stronger morale for our 2022 campaign. Otherwise, that should be it. Beyond one final major announcement. And that is, of course, the winner of our UCA Player of the Season. Now, it was certainly a very tight contest, considering we had about a third to a half season played. So the position for third, while in normal conditions, perhaps would be a little bit less competitive as these awards spread out a bit more across the squad. So we will not be awarding a third place for the season just due to the nature of how contested it was. Now, one of our two finalists we've already mentioned for her exceptional abilities as a footballer, whether she came first, whether she came second, well, we're getting to that. Of course, let us announce who was our most noble, most gracious, and most impressive runner-up for the 2021 campaign. And this, of course, goes to our legendary goalkeeper, Melissa Barbieri, who has been absolutely phenomenal and near faultless this season. Now, this, of course, means that there must be one player who managed to outdo the exceptional abilities of Barbieri. And for what we saw this season, that can only be given to one player who I think we can all agree thoroughly deserves recognition as the 2021 Player of the Season, and that is Lena Ayres. And of course, I can give all sorts of reasons, but how about I give just 3 simple reasons? Hat trick, hat trick, hat trick. Well done, Elena. Well done, Melissa. And of course, well done to all our players who made an impact in our squad, in our team, in our club, our community this year, despite all that has gone on. So, on that note, that should be just about everything from us for 2021. We hope to see you at some stage across the summer and into 2022. Until then, we have been your LES Fan TV. Come on, tell us.